everybody. This is One Star National Marketing Director Bobby Sullivan in a flippin' freezing day here in Southwest Ontario with another episode of Bob's Biz Bits. And today I want to talk about doubt. Here's a good thing to write down, that doubt is deadly. Doubt is brutal. Doubt is deadly. And I want to talk about you becoming a product of your product and becoming an influence of change. And whatever company that you represent here today, obviously I am with Nerium, but whatever company that you represent, you are you're guilty by association. You're a product of the product. You are a spokesperson for your company. And don't ever go on stage with questions in your mind. Matter of fact, I've told people before, even in our company, I said, if I ever fall out of rank, don't bring me on that stage and introduce me as One Star National Marketing Director. Introduce me at the rank that I'm currently at. But I don't want to ever be accused of lying to somebody and telling them to be, something that I have dropped down, right? So I don't ever want to be a product of doubt, because it is deadly. And I don't know about you, but have you ever walked into a room? I feel like I got no, you don't have a sore. It looks like a canker sore. But I was just thinking, have you ever walked into a room and felt anger in the atmosphere? Have you ever walked into a room and felt dissension? Have you felt manipulation? Have you felt intimidation? Have you ever walked into a room and felt love and felt energy and felt excitement? Well, of course you have. You've probably walked into a room and have felt all of these different things. But if there's one thing that most network marketing events cannot be accused of, and it is lacking energy, lacking enthusiasm, purpose, zeal, and vision. And there's nothing more worse, that's kind of dumb. There's nothing worse than someone who sucks the life out of a room with a ho-hum spirit and then spreads it like a contagious cancer. Whew. It is butt ugly when that kind of stuff happens, because that is just nasty. So I'm going to give you a couple little points here without expanding too much on them. You can expand on it yourself that I think will help you out. Number one, that your thoughts have presence. I remember some of you know I have a pastor background, so pardon if I throw some scriptures here out at you, but out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth is going to speak. Whatsoever man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You're not what you think you are. You're what you think. Your thoughts have presence, and they're like currents moving throughout the air. Some of you super mystical people might call it positive energy. However, they're like currents moving through the air, and those thoughts are capable of drawing people towards you or driving people away from you. How many would much rather have people be drawn to you than repel from you and walk away from you when you walk into a room? The second thing is that your attitude is always sensed. Trust me, some of you need a checkup from the neck up. Some of you need to, empty your brain, empty your thought, get into your Zen, meditate, pray, whatever floats your boat, and before you ever get into a room. I want to encourage you today, never walk into a room with doubt, never walk into a room discouraged, because I can promise you, in your presentation, it's going to come out. And your thoughts have presence. Your attitude's always going to be sensed. And you will never succeed in any business. Excuse me. You'll never succeed in any business unless you really believe in that business. You've got to believe in the product that you're promoting, because your doubts will eventually surface. And I was slightly offended one time, and people might have felt a negative attitude, and I thought, me, Bobby Sullivan, be negative? It just seems kind of weird. But I soon realized that the more negative people you I'm sorry, what was I trying to say? I had a brain fart. Where was I thinking? What was I trying to say? Oh, I know what it was. That I realized that the more negative people that I intentionally or unintentionally associate myself with, then those comments and those thoughts are going to seep into the pores of my brain, and then it's going to change the way I think. Remember, you hear all these things, I'm guilty by association, because you soon become a product of their environment, not always yours. And then you truly are guilty by association. So if you're having a problem with your attitude and your thoughts, you might need to ask God to renew your mind. He made the thing anyway. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind and get a checkup from the neck up. And you're going to find out that as you begin to do that, things are going to significantly change. And then you're going to ask yourself a big question, and it's this: that what makes you believe in your product? You know what the answer is? Product knowledge. Don't ever get on a stage without knowing what the heck you're talking about. Don't go up there and go, dude, all I know is it's 4 pumps and I rub it on my face and it works. You really kind of have to know what the heck you're talking about, right? What else I want to talk about? Number 3 is that you must take time and make the effort to know your product. And it may bore you, and it might seem unnecessary. You may be anxious to sell your product, pocket the profit, and get on with your life. But success just does not just happen that way. That people are looking for a good opportunity to get a jump start and on their health, nutrition, and beauty. Everybody's company, whatever company you represent today, everybody's company is constantly reinventing themselves and making better products than their predecessor or competition. Our company has this ingredient. This company has that ingredient. And then you soon realize that this is the nature of network marketing and free enterprise. And here's the question then you really need to ask yourself: is my product helping somebody? It may not be suitable for everybody, but is it helping someone achieve physical goals, financial goals, beauty goals? You've got to ask those questions. And we know that here at Nerium, our stuff is backed by science, backed by clinical science, backed by doctors, backed by it all. And the stuff works. A lawyer, let's give you an example. A lawyer must study new laws. A doctor has got to keep well read on the latest journals concerning the body and new diseases. A policeman, he has to study his weapons and the laws of his community and his rights and the mindsets of criminals. And if he does not study this, he knows that he's a dead man in the streets and his life is on the line. So don't expect to succeed unless you are thoroughly informed about your product. Trust me, Cheryl and I are trying to make the best decisions that we can based on the most accurate information that we have. And even at that, sometimes we make some allowances to make mistakes and goof up, and sometimes we feel like that we failed in some areas. But you've got to realize the only time that you become a failure is when you fall, you refuse to get up and try again. Are you discouraged with your present job? Are you feeling hopeless? Then I suggest that you ask somebody to help you out and to cultivate some type of an awareness of yourself, an awareness of your business, an awareness of your future. Because I'm going to tell you what, we need to stop coming into businesses with just the mindset of making a buck. Just like, getting by. Let's see how many people we can get our downline so we can fast start qualify. We've got to go beyond that, because as you go into this really truly desiring to help yourself, your family, and so on, you're going to eventually begin to help others. What else do I want to tell you? You become magnetic because of the energy coming from you, your vibe, whatever you want to call it. And if you believe in your product and you're a product of the product, then based on that equation, you got to believe that God has given you incredible abilities to be more than you've ever dreamed possible before. So here's some questions as we begin to wrap this up that you've got to ask yourself today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're watching this. Why are you doing this business? Why you? What is my purpose? If you could be anywhere else and be happy, would you go? And since we're on the subject of questions, You should ask every potential brand partner, every client, every promoter, every consultant these questions. What do you want? When do you want it? Why do you want it? What are you willing to do to get it? Listen to this point that I'm going to leave you with here today. That every product you promote contains more answers than you first realized. Let me say it again. Every product that you promote, it contains more answers than when you first realized. I like that, because I remember when one of our girls gave Karen Mathewson gave her a bottle, and had no idea what the heck was going on with that. But then all of a sudden, that team turned into something really crazy and awesome and huge. And then the girl who gave the bottle actually quit. Why? Because she didn't really believe in the product enough to believe that this one bottle could change the face of a nation, one bottle at a time. So stay focused on your product, right? You don't always have to worry about what your competition is doing. And here's your assignment this week. And it's to connect yourself with somebody with a problem. Don't run from it. Embrace from it. Embrace